The Invisible Chains. Europe's Future After Davos, 2026. January 2026. High in the Swiss Alps, surrounded by snow, secrecy, and security checkpoints, the world's most powerful figures gather once again in Davos. CEOs, central bankers, presidents, prime ministers, tech giants, AI architects, and unelected global institutions meet under the banner of cooperation, sustainability, and progress. But history teaches us something important. Real power rarely announces itself loudly. It arrives quietly, wrapped in good intentions, buried inside technical language, policy frameworks, and digital infrastructure. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a pattern. Davos 2026 did not introduce new ideas. It accelerated existing ones. Ideas that are already being rolled out across Europe. Ideas that will shape how you earn money, how you spend it, how you travel, how you identify yourself, and ultimately, how much freedom you retain. Tonight, we are going to connect the dots. Because Europe is standing at a crossroads, and most people don't even realize it yet. Part 1. Davos is not just a meeting, it is a signal. Every January, Davos is presented to the public as a harmless gathering of minds, a place where global leaders talk. But Davos is not about debate. It is about alignment. What Davos really does is synchronize governments, corporations, and financial institutions around shared frameworks. Once alignment is achieved, national parliaments, regulators, and institutions follow. In 2026, the dominant themes were clear: digital identity AI governance, financial system reform, climate-linked economic controls, global cooperation in a fragmented world. These sound benign, even necessary, but the danger is not in the ideas themselves. It is in how they are implemented and who controls them. Part 2. Europe's digital ID, convenience or control. Across Europe, the digital identity wallet is already becoming reality. On paper, it sounds convenient. One ID for healthcare, one ID for banking, one ID for travel, one ID for employment, one ID for taxes, one ID for benefits. But concentration is power. When identity, money, and access are merged into a single digital framework, control becomes programmable. Access can be granted. Access can be restricted. Access can be revoked. Not by courts, not by juries, but by systems. At Davos 2026, digital identity was framed as trust infrastructure. But trust for whom? Citizens or institutions? Once your identity becomes digital only, anonymity disappears. Once anonymity disappears, dissent becomes risky. Once dissent becomes risky, democracy weakens. Part 3. CBDCs, the end of money as you know it. Central bank digital currencies were discussed openly at Davos 2026 as the future of money, not crypto, not cash, but programmable, state-issued digital money. CBDCs allow instant taxation, real-time monitoring, spending restrictions, expiration dates on money, location-based controls. This is not speculation. These features are openly discussed in policy papers. Imagine a Europe where your money can only be spent on approved goods. Your savings can be stimulated by forced spending. Your transactions are visible in real time. Your access depends on compliance. Cash is anonymous. CBDCs are not. Once cash disappears, financial freedom disappears with it. Part 4. AI governance. Who decides what is true? Artificial intelligence was one of the central pillars of Davos 2026. AI is no longer a tool, it is becoming a decision maker. AI already influences credit approval, job screening, risk profiling, surveillance systems, content moderation. At Davos, leaders discussed guardrails for AI, but the same institutions building AI are shaping the rules that govern it. When AI decides who gets a loan, who gets flagged, who gets access, who gets silenced, human accountability fades. And when AI systems are linked to digital ID and digital money, control becomes seamless. Part 5. The climate lever, the perfect justification. Climate policy was everywhere at Davos 2026. Again, the goal sounds noble, but climate has become the ultimate justification for control. carbon tracking, carbon budgets, carbon scores. When climate data is linked to digital ID CBDCs, smart cities' behavior becomes regulated. Travel, consumption, energy use, food choices, not through laws, but through incentives and penalties. Freedom slowly becomes conditional. Part 6. Europe's economic pressure. Cooker. Europe is already under strain. High energy costs, aging populations, rising debt, slowing growth, social fragmentation. These pressures make centralized solutions attractive. When crises stack up, people accept controls they would never accept in stable times. History shows this again and again. Part 7. From democracy to technocracy. The future emerging from Davos 2026 is not dictatorship. It is something more subtle. Technocracy. Decisions made by algorithms, panels, global frameworks, non-elected bodies. Democracy still exists, but only on the surface. Real power shifts upward and outward. Part 8. What history tells us. This has happened before. Gold confiscation, capital controls, currency resets, surveillance expansions. Each time it was temporary. Each time it became permanent. Part 9. The silent trade-off. Europe is being offered a trade: convenience for freedom, security for autonomy, efficiency for privacy. Once accepted, there is no reset button. Part 10. The future scenarios. Scenario 1. Compliance Europe. Efficient, controlled, predictable. Scenario 2. Fragmented Europe. Resistance, parallel systems, cash alternatives. Scenario 3. Hybrid Europe. Partial freedom, conditional access. Which one emerges depends on awareness. Conclusion. This is the moment. Davos 2026 was not the beginning. It was confirmation. The systems are being built now, quietly, technically, irreversibly. The question is not whether Europe will change. The question is whether Europeans will notice before the chains are locked. Stay awake. Stay aware. This is Felix. See you next time.